Hello, welcome to Threads from the Wheel. I'm Heather. I'm Monica. This is Heather. It has been a long day at the office.
I'll be Monica tonight. That's fine.
Oh, we are talking about the season three finale of Amazon's The Wheel of Time. What an episode!
Oh,
I got like
yes.
4.5 pages of notes.
10, but I have a small notebook,
Oh,
not
yeah.
not yeah, printer paper. Yeah. My pen died 5 minutes before the episode was over. So I'm like running around. I need a pen. I need a pen. I gotta get this down. Yeah.
Um, so we start off Tarvalon 10 years ago, and Elida is walking out of a twisted red doorway and smiling down at her charm bracelet.
With a shiny new key on it.
Uh, so I didn't notice her looking at one of them in particular.
She was
But yeah, she was
fondling the
definitely,
key.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um, and so in the books, there are two doorways, one to the Aelfin, one to the Ealfin. One answers three questions, the other grants three requests, but with a price. I at first I assumed that was the Eelfin, the fox people that Matt saw, because and that's where she got the bracelet from. But um several episodes ago when Elida and Min were having a conversation and Min asked about the bracelet, if it was something, if it was part of one of her foretellings. And she said something like that. So it could be something that the elephant told her. Who knows? Excuse me.
In that episode, she
Mhm.
also had the hand trimmer and knocked everything off.
Oh yeah.
I think
Mhm.
I think that key had something to do with that. I think that was a notification to her, maybe that there was something in Swan's box she needed to read, and she was frustrated because she knew she couldn't get there. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't know,
I
but
think so,
that's
but
that's just what I thought.
I, Jordan was known for his foreshadowing. Um, the tiniest thing could be a clue to something. So
Who knows?
yeah,
And who knows what Rafe's thinking with all this. So
yeah.
we'll see. We'll
Um,
see.
so then we have the hall calling a meeting to choose a new Amerlin because the one of only 4 years has up and died. She was actually murdered by the Black Shot, but only a few people at the time knew it. Everybody else thought she died of natural causes. Uh,
Just before that, right after she comes out of the doorway portal, she tells the White Sister logic leaves little room for hope.
yeah, yeah, Alviarin,
Okay.
the one she had that conversation with. Um, and then we have Swan in her study, staring at um the Tiara Grail that goes to Talayan Riod. Um, and then we have a walk and talk with Elida, Alviarin, and Viren. There was a third sister. I didn't write that down. But they're complaining about how she's sending letters out to the world leaders asking for support of the Dragon Reborn, but he isn't under tower control yet. And this is a problem because they think they can control fate itself, apparently.
Tower control or a light of control.
Huh?
Tower control or a light of control.
She sees it as one and the same, but
Pretty much.
and then we're out in the Aiel Waste, and Rand is picking squash, the little girl, just like
Alsara's squash. It
yeah,
was, I knew that that was going to happen. I knew he would do that. Whether they showed it on the screen or if it happened off screen, I knew it would happen. And to see
yeah,
it was beautiful. It was sadly beautiful.
yeah. When he made that promise, I'm like, I don't know, so you're gonna be in Cold Rocks that long, but okay. Um, but it was nice to see. And then Egwene comes in and says, "The wise ones are waiting." And then we get some mail in the cave. I knew he wasn't dead. That was just too easy. Too easy. Um, and Moraine tells him it's a clever trick tying off a shield. It's also a dangerous one because a tied off weave is easier to break than one that is being sustained.
Mhm.
So
And she tells him he's got to teach Rand or she'll imprison him for 1,000 years
mhm.
and he will be forgotten.
By the time songs are written about the last battle, no one will remember who you are. Possibly the biggest threat to a Forsaken. Um, but yeah, then we're in Leandrin's hideout and Chesmal and her cats. Even in the book, she likes cats more than people, and she has a point.
There are days,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And then the other one was Rihanna um, and Domaran. We barely see her in the books, but that was a very different costuming choice than anything we've seen um, in the entire rest of the series.
She was the green sister who, during the original battle in the tower, comes in and she can feel her warders die and she's laughing about it. It feels good to her.
I remember the scene. I didn't remember that that was her.
Yeah, I do believe, if memory serves, that is her.
And being a green sister fits with that outfit. Then we have Nynaeve and Matt on a stakeout.
Oh, you
Yeah.
forgot one thing that happened in
Oh, right,
that
Leandrin
part.
comes in.
No,
Stop playing with
before
that
that,
stick.
yeah, she comes in and she's got that stick that creates balefire. Put that down.
It does do that. Put that down. Damn it. Uh, but yeah, we have Nynaeve and Matt eating noodles with chopsticks. Well, we have Nynaeve eating noodles with chopsticks. We have Matt. Did you see the way he was? I can't even replicate the way he was holding. Like, dude, that's not even how.
I can eat with chopsticks, but not noodles. No,
I,
it would be ugly. I'd be wearing them and it'd be my hair. No, no.
um, and then Leandrin comes out, and they spot her, and they split up, and Matt goes to get everybody, and Nynaeve follows her over to the Panox Palace. and her calling card is apparently just killing everybody.
Oh, you say I'm not supposed to be here?
Yeah. Boom. And she unrolls the painting and says, "This is what we're looking for." But she rolls it up with the paint on the outside. I- I've never seen anyone roll a painting or even a print that way.
It was kind of weird.
Okay. Thank you. That's the only one who.
But if it holds like the color that Egwene wore before it was closed, it was just like it looked like a torque.
Mhm.
And then it unfurled.
But she doesn't
So
know that. Yay, us. Um, then we have Lanfear approaching Rand in the forest.
with the Egwene haircut.
Does Lanfear be petty like that?
Mhm.
And she tells him, "That's why you left me, because I wouldn't bow to you." Oh, he met someone else.
I finally see the real you. You're a monster, Lanfear.
Yeah. And Luce Theron may well have left her for all the same reasons Rand did, but then he did meet someone else,
Yeah.
uh, Ilyana Sunhair.
He told her that Luz Theron left her because she's jealous, petty, and just cruel.
Ain't wrong.
No, no.
And then we have Egwene stepping in to save him and throwing out Lanfear.
That was pretty
Yeah, that was
BA of her. I liked that.
yeah. And she just goes, "Woof." And then they're in the wise ones dreaming chamber. I don't know what to call that place. It wasn't in the books. Um, but apparently it was just a trap to get Lanfear there. And
And they
Moraine,
prepare for her to attack.
yeah. And
But
then
Rand says she's not patient.
yeah, she's not this patient. Moraine says we shouldn't assume you're the only thing she wants. Uh,
So they say they're off to Alcadar Dell?
I'll, I'll care doll.
Alcardal. That's
Uh,
it.
the one thing that got me before Moraine says not to assume that you're the only thing she wants. You intentionally piss off one of the Forsaken, and then you stand with your back to the door. Um, yeah.
They figure she'd pop into the middle of the room
I, I guess that was the assumption. I'm like, that's a pretty big assumption.
or pop right in to be right in front of Rand.
I guess that's the only thing that makes sense with the way that they were standing. Um, and then Melindra sneaks up on Lan. Damn it.
Because she's been her debt that she owes Lanfear has been called in.
Yeah, she's the shadow runner again.
Well, she didn't really sneak up on Lan.
She tried.
She, she wanted to. I don't
Yeah.
think she even thought she could really.
Mm.
You knew I'd hear your spears, is basically what he said to her.
Hmm. Um, but yeah, that was interesting. Um, and then we're in the Panox Palace. We're sneaking into the Panox Palace. And
Not
Tom's
really.
there.
It's not really sneaking into the Panarch's palace when Leandrin's already cut a path for you.
Well, they don't want Leandrin and the others to find them.
There we go. Yeah, I guess
So,
they're sneaking to not get caught by them, but there's no one
yes.
else to get caught by.
Yeah. Uh, well, I have this thing about watching kids die. I try to stop it if I can. Yeah. Especially when one of them is practically your stepdaughter.
The way he behaved, I'm thinking he might be daddy.
It in the books, at least, there was a time when Elaine really, really wanted that to be true because, and to pieces with what that would mean for the politics of it. Her bio dad was not a very loving guy, and she liked Tom better, but the math just didn't work out.
It's just we haven't seen her bio father in the show, so
No,
no one knows. But
yeah.
he did seem very fatherly with her.
Um, yeah, we actually don't see him in the books. We hear about him, but that's it. He died before the book started. When Elaine was still pretty little. Uh,
We see Moghedien go in to see Samael, and
uh,
he's
before
like, sorry.
one line before that, Nynaeve says, "Whoever finds it, get out. Don't wait for the rest of us."
If
Nynaeve.
only she took her own advice.
You read my notes, I see.
No, I too have a little bit of a brain.
Yeah, then we see Moghedien going into Samael's cave. Uh,
He asks her what she's doing. She's like, I've been trying to figure out a way to kill another chosen.
you can help me. Oh, I don't think
Yeah.
that's what he had in mind.
Nope. Evil Bjork got him good.
Yes. And pulling things out. Yeah. Then we're walking through the waste, and Rand threatens to tell the Aiel the truth. Aviendha tells Egwene she is free to leave Rand, and Lan asks Moraine if Lanfear kills her here. Sometimes. I bet Lan is about ready to slap her every time she says sometimes.
Well, I mean, she's not lying.
And she doesn't know what's going to actually happen. But I'm sure he's feeling the frustration of not knowing just as much as she is. So, and the shadow are there, all of them. More honor to be gained when we cut them down. Couladin. And then Lanfear walks in. Long time since someone accused me of being a maiden.
I liked that line.
Yeah. Hmm. Oh, and then we have Elida preparing to meet the Hall. And Leon and Varen burst into Swan's study. 8 Red Sisters have just left the tower with no word as to why.
That's enough to gentle a man.
And so they think they know what's going on. So they Swan sends, take our most trusted sisters and get them back here.
That was a bit of a mistake,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Looking back, but hindsight and all that. Yeah. And then we have everyone sneaking through the palace, away from each other, not from the actual people who actually belong there. Uh, Tom says Elaine took apart every clock in the palace when she was 3. And
because she wanted to know how they worked.
as expensive as clocks would have been in that time frame. Oh, he never did say whether or not she put them back together, but at 3, yeah,
Probably not.
yeah. But that does set up, um, in the books at least. I don't know if they'll get into it in the show. Her her love of knowing how things work will come into play later on. Hopefully, I hope they do it here. Uh, and she's asking, okay, so when did you leave? Oh, you would have been about 5. So you left just before Lord Gabriel arrived. Lord who?
Only a Forsaken can make you think that.
Whatever memories you have, he put there. And you can just see the look on her face of this
Oh,
fatherly figure she's known forever, and just really struggling to accept that. Uh, and I can only imagine how difficult that would be. And then we have Stripe walks in. Hard to keep track, really. Morghese has always been a whore.
wow. Don't hold back.
Yeah,
Tell us what you really think.
yeah. From someone wearing a mini skirt length dress, those are big words, lady. Yeah, in a world where the ankles are scandalous. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Might even be scandalous for Tanchico standards.
Could be. And then Matt sees the red twisted doorway. Oh, well, this looks promising.
He asks men, you ever wonder what the world would be like without the one power? No Aes Sedai, no visions, no memory. And the
Now you
man
talk.
goes, now you're talking.
Uh, Min sees it. Oh, wait, I've seen that arch before, Matt. Wait, he's already gone. It was like he got within a foot of it and it just sort of whoop.
Sucked him right in.
Uh, in the books, he did it very intentionally. But it, excuse me. And then we see the triangles on the in the eelfin world. Triangles are everywhere. Everything is triangle shaped. It just is. I don't know.
Well,
Uh,
think about a fox's head. It's
yes.
triangular.
And that beige leather he's wearing in the books, Matt is swearing up one side and down the other. It says something to one of the elfin or eelfin, I'll have your hide. And then he notices the leather and he starts to think, Wait, what's that? Oh, oh, that be people. Maybe I should watch the way I phrase things.
I didn't notice the human hide.
Yes, yeah, he says that right, it's right after it's like, okay. He still keeps cussing them out though. Uh, and then the eelfin says, "By Aelfin, I will keep the two of them straight one day, but today is not the day. Uh, these are the eelfin. By the ancient treaty, here is agreement made. Uh, in the books, there, and we haven't really seen it yet, but on his Ashandare, there is an engraving in the old tongue. And the translation is, thus is our treaty written, thus is agreement made. Thought is the arrow of time, memory never fades. What was asked is given, the price is paid. And he says similar things to that in the rest of that scene. But then we but then we're back in the room with Min, and someone from the Black Hush walks in, whistling.
I actually paused it and found out her name. It's Chesma.
Okay, that is Cat Lady. Okay. Um, and she sees the ter'angreal and heads straight for it. And, like she knows what it is almost. Um, and then we have Nynaeve looking through a box. Leandrin walks in and just starts throwing things around onto the floor, and then practically throws the collar at Nynaeve's feet, and then leaves. It's like, oh well, thank you.
Did the hard work for me. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you for finding it and just handing it over.
Would have been nicer if she had just placed it in Nynaeve's hand. Here you go, darling.
Yeah, yeah. And then Tom and Elaine are hiding. He tells her to go back to Andor. Gabriel is a myth. He's one of the Forsaken. Uh, that it's that this Lord Gabriel, she thinks she knows, is made up, and that her mother is in danger and her throne is in danger. And he's going to go out and be a distraction. He's not making a habit of this. No, we don't want him to make habit of this. Uh, then Tom goes out and faces Nagasha. But Elaine sneaks around and smacks her on the back head.
And grabs the
Takes the stick
balefire
from her.
stick.
Yes. And the Chesmal hit, oh no, this is other one. Um, had hit the roof or the ceiling, and the stones had come down, and Elaine hits her with it, but being hit with balefire removes you from the pattern.
The stones go back up.
Yeah, because what you have done is undone for a certain length of time that varies depending on how hard you've been hit. It also removes your soul from the pattern. She will never be reborn, ever.
Mm.
She is gone.
Kind of like double crossing the Forsaken.
Yeah.
Kind of like double
What
crossing the
Melinda's
Forsaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, in back in Finland, yes, with two N's, because that's how you spell Aelfin and Eilfin with two N's. Do you carry iron, instruments of music, or devices for making light? Now, a few episodes ago, we saw the three boys in Tarvalon at a bar and they were playing snakes and foxes.
Mhm.
That children's game is a throwback to the Finn. They are the snakes and foxes. When you start the game, uh, you do it by making the sign of a triangle with a snake through it. And I believe it's shut up, dog. It worked.
Briefly.
Um, music to dazzle, fire to blind, fire to blind, music to dazzle, iron to bind. And that's the three things you can use against them. Uh, and they have their conversation, and Matt asks for a way to be free of Aes Sedai, free of magic. And the um, Eilfin says we can take those memories. And he says, you can fix my head. Done. He didn't ask for anything, child. You these Finn are slippery.
It's like every story with, genies. You get three wishes, but you best be careful how you word it, because the worst possible meaning is always going to happen.
Hmm. Um, and then he catches on that this is a very dangerous place to be, and I want out now. Wise to ask leave taking, unwise to set no price, no terms.
But he didn't just say he wanted out now. He wanted them out now.
I cleaned it up. Yes, yes, he did.
That's one of the few times that I can understand dropping that
Yeah,
bomb in
yeah,
the show.
for
I
real.
would probably have done that several times by that point.
Um, and it's similar to the books in that so in the books when he's separated from the dagger, it leaves holes in his own memory. And he ends up seeing the Aelfin first, the ones who answer questions. And they tell him to go to Meridian, uh, which is where the other doorway is. And you can only use the doorway once. So he sees the other doorway. He's like, hang on. I bet you I could use this one again. I'm gonna go give those snake people a piece of my mind. And he goes charging in there, and it's the foxes.
It's not snakes this time, it's
No.
foxes.
And he asks for a way to be free of Aes Sedai. I want these bloody holes in my head filled in and a way out. He didn't specify with what. He didn't say, I want my own memories back. No, I want these bloody holes filled in. Well, the Finn feed off of our emotions, our humanity. And um, Matt figures out later on that the memories he has are of other um, people who have gone through that doorway, of other soldiers.
Hmm.
Because he has all these memories of fighting battles and leading troops and dying in combat. He has no memories of childhood aside from his own. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do bring in the other doorway or have a third doorway somewhere. And he gets to see the snakes, and maybe they do something to situate his memories, because we don't know if he actually, if those memories were straight up removed, because all Matt said was the screaming stopped. So we don't know what he's actually left with after he comes out of the doorway. Um, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Um, but so he's thrown out, and hanging by the Ashandarai is stabbed into that top of the doorway, and he's hanging from it.
Yeah,
And
I didn't know what that was. I didn't, my second watch, I'm like, oh, that's actually like a sword.
it's a pole arm with a short sword attached. But yeah, and it becomes his signature weapon. I mean, we saw what he could do with a staff.
That was the moment I fell in love with Matt. Two
In the
mark,
books, he does it falling down weak, just hours or maybe a day out of a sick bed.
two marks each.
Yes. Yes. Same terms. Mhm. But Min sees him, but the Chesmal is still there. And she can't get to Matt. So she sneaks up behind Chesmal and just whacks her in the head. And then throws one of her knives, and that cuts the rope that Matt was hanging from. And she's freaking out, and she basically does CPR on him. And in the most Matt line ever, if you wanted to kiss me, there are easier ways.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. So we got Nani standing outside of the palace, like she
Waiting
told
for the
everyone else
rest.
not to do.
Yeah, not following her own advice.
Yeah. And Leandrin comes out and finds her. And she tries to reason with her. She actually tries to turn Leandrin.
Tries to play to her non-existent humanity.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
She,
I know what happened to you here. And Leandrin's not having any of it. She's just like, nope, I am who I am.
and because Nynaeve liked her at one point, she can't believe she was completely wrong about Leandrin. If I like you, there must be some humanity left.
Some redeeming quality. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but no, Leandrin's having none of it. She says, "Look at me now, Nynaeve. I'm going to collar the dragon reborn. I'm going to be the first Forsaken of a new age, and I'm going to kill the
Kill the
strongest
strongest
channeler in a
channeler in a
thousand
thousand
years."
years.
As soon as it was clear that Leandrin was gonna throw her in the bay, I'm like, oh yeah, it's happening. It's happening. Yeah. Because that's how she breaks in the books. In different circumstances, but still drowning. And when she's down there, she's hearing herself giving a lesson to the daughter she met in the arches. And she tells the little girl, close your eyes. She closes her eyes. And what do you hear? She's listening to herself, teach herself how to open up to the true source. That is the most naive way to surrender ever. But it was like she was so afraid that the power would change her. This was her admitting it can't change me because it was always there. It was me. It wasn't going to change her anymore. It couldn't change her any more than it already had.
Makes perfect
And
sense.
yeah, and she like
Parts the
parting of the
ocean
Red
and
Sea.
Yep.
And
Then
then
we go to Lan and Melindra.
yeah. Well, Melindra.
Well, yeah, Melindra. Yeah.
Eh, and we find out that she swore her dark oaths to see the golden crane fly again. But now she's being ordered to kill Lan. If she does that, Melchior will never rise again.
Mhm.
You are Melchior. And she breaks her oaths, and in doing so, she dies. And apparently it's like being hit with balefire. Uh, that she will never be reborn.
Death is lighter than a feather, duty as heavy as a mountain.
Death is lighter than a feather, duty heavier than a mountain. That is something Lan drills in Rand's head throughout the series. Um, but yeah, it's not something we see in the books because even the Dark Friends who unlike Liandrin are more like I had a moment of weakness and but once you've made that commitment, you can't go back. There is no escape. Um, so we don't know if what would happen if someone actually broke oaths. Uh, but here we get an answer. And then we see Moraine and Rand.
I loved this scene. It was very necessary.
Moraine
It
walks up and says, "You were right." And I'm like, "Who are you?"
the honesty in that
Yeah.
conversation. And Rand knew that she was working with Lanfear
Hmm.
for the attack in Tarvalon, and he knew it was about, getting control of him and separating him from his friends. And he's just so not mad about it. He's just like, yeah, it was the right thing to do. And she was the only one who wanted what he wants. And he really wanted her to come and stand next to him when he goes in front of the Aiel.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you have to stand on your own tonight.
Hmm. And for anyone watching this concerned about the dog, he wants to go out, except it's wet out, and he won't go out when it's wet. But that doesn't mean he doesn't want to, but he won't do it because it's wet. So
Not
here
much we
we
can do
are.
about that situation.
Yeah.
Spartacus, the prince, has his own mind and
Yes.
is just letting us know what it is. And
Yes. And his mommy isn't home. And so he's doubly upset.
yeah.
Um, anyway, back to the show. Um, the other show.
Oh, and Moraine says she's not going to stand beside him. She's going to go fight Lanfear for him.
I'm going to defend you from Lanfear or die trying.
There you go.
Was that it? Is that all?
She'd probably much rather be standing next to Rand than have to deal with Lanfear.
Anyone would. Um, so then we have Viren and crew, uh, and they meet up with Galena and crew. And you've been ordered back to the tower. By who? The Amerlin seat. Swan Sanche has no power over me. I've done my task, keeping you out of the tower. Like, oh.
Hmm.
So then we are back to the tower, and Swan and Liana are barred from entering. And she yells at the guards, and then they're like, "Okay, we'll let you in."
Where were they during the first episode when the Black Aja were going crazy?
Conveniently somewhere else, or more probably, they were there because Elida told them to be,
Mm,
whereas no one ordered them to stand guard or to be there last time around. Uh, and there's a big argument, and Swan is still, and she's dragged out of the hall. Take her. I have questions.
well, before she was stilled, she was stabbed with one power daggers. Uh, my notes say very Caesar-esque at to Elida. Um, ah, that was like torture, not just to watch, but for her literally.
And I didn't go back to when they gentled Logain. Do you remember anything like that? What the visual effects were on it?
Mm-mm.
Because I was trying to remember if that was part of cutting someone off from the power or if it was just.
The stabbing, oh, that was just Elida being.
If you remember at the end of season one, when Moraine and Rand go into the Eye of the World, and he's asking her uh, how will I be able to access the power when I need it? And she tells him about an Aes Sedai back when she was a novice who tortured and abused her, basically. But that was Elida. Uh, and I was like, okay, yay. Because at that point, I was concerned that they were going to merge Elida and Leandrin into one person. That's not going to work, guys. You can't do that. Um, because in the books we had already met her by the end of book one. So Elida should be here by now, guys. So then Leandrin has returned to her hideout. Uh, and Moghedien sneaks up behind her, or sort of sneaks up behind her.
Well, she sees a tarantula on the table
Yeah,
before Moghedien comes in.
that's true. How did you know? Or she just says Moghedien. How did you know? If I want to be one of the Forsaken, I need to know my competition. And Moghedien,
You are the weakest.
Moghedien throws her raspberry.
And if you're gonna take over,
Yeah,
you'll need
yeah, you'll
people weaker
either
than you, like me.
mhm, yes. You'll either be uh oh, head forsaken is I'm blanking on the name.
Nameless.
Yes, thank you. You'll either be nameless alone or you have to have others weaker than you.
It takes two.
Hmm.
It takes two
Yeah.
to collar,
Oh yeah, to use the
to
collar.
use the collar.
Yeah,
Let me prove myself to you. I don't work well with others. Neither do
do
I.
I?
They are made for each other.
Yes, yes, they are. So then Ravine and Lanfear find what's left of Samael.
Lanfear's costume in this was intriguing. It was a cross between the Dark Lily in Legend and frickin' Maleficent.
Yeah, I was talking with my mom afterwards, and she talked about the scene. She's like, "Was that headpiece straight up Maleficent?" And on my second watch, I'm like, "No, that's a Raven." I mean, yeah, I get Maleficent, but it's a Raven. The straight sides with the wings.
It was it was a, it was a choice.
Yes, and you can see the little head.
It was just
Uh,
so off-putting because she'd been quasi-normal up until then. But I guess we're showing that she's truly gone into the deep end and
yeah, well, and she says something to Ramin about taking Kalendor, and he's like, "What? Whoa! Did your little dragon reject you again?" So yes, apparently Lanfear is now ready to kill Rand. And back in the Aiel Waste, Couladin announces himself Kara Karn, and Moraine puts a shield over Alcair Dal. Um, One thing about the set of Alcair Dal, in the books, I pictured something a little more like Red Rock Amphitheater. Um, because it's supposed to be a natural rock formation where a person can stand, at this one particular spot and speak normally and be heard by everyone. So it's a lot smaller than I pictured it, but budget restraints, I guess. Um, and then Swan is on the floor in her shift in the hall.
bloody.
Oh, very, very bloody. And you see the trail of blood into the room. So she was dragged back in as well. And I'm thinking she was probably beaten more while, during the intermission, if you will.
Obviously.
Well,
Aleida's got to get
she
her
was stabbed, so assuming they
Aleida's
could
got to
heal
get her
her, then
answers.
yeah. Swan Sancha, you have been brought before this hall to answer for your crimes against our tower. For 20 years you have worked in secret with Moraine Sedai. I believe she is with the Dragon Reborn now, and you know where they are. After so many years of lies, will you finally just tell us the truth? The truth. That is all we ask. The truth is, I love Moraine. I always have and always will love her. I would die to protect her.
protect her.
And the speech that she gives through the end of this episode is just, oh, epic, epic, epic.
Oh, I wrote it down.
So did I.
No doubt.
Um, and then we're back at Al Cardal. Couladin is whining about Rand and Moraine. He came here with an Aes Sedai, pulling his strings, and we're back to Swan. 20 years ago, Gitara Sedai had a foretelling. Moraine and I were there. She saw that the dragon was born again. And then we're back at Al Cardal, and Rand isn't afraid to speak the truth about Iridian. Are you?
It almost seems that he didn't go through
He
with it
didn't.
because
Lanfear
he's.
put those dragons in.
I know that, but he didn't go into Ruidian at all because
No.
he couldn't say what he saw in Ruidian. It was holy. I'm holy. He had no clue.
He had no dragons on his arms. If
I
he
know.
had and come out, he would have had one.
Yeah.
But and he apparently just was going to rely on the whole we don't speak about Ruidian to not have to answer any questions because, well, we don't speak about it. Well, how bloody convenient, you fake.
That's how the dragon would destroy the
Yeah.
Aiel.
Mhm. And we get a glimpse of Moraine and Lanfear continuing their fight.
Yeah.
And then
Lanfear has Moraine on the ropes. I mean,
oh God.
he's the
Yeah.
power lasso strangling her. Well, that's what it was. It was like
Yeah, no.
a rope made out of power.
Yeah, yeah. Air, probably. Um, and then Rand tells everybody the truth. You must face who you are, oath
Oath
breakers.
breakers.
And Rourke is like, you could tell he's right.
It's like, oh God.
Rand.
Oh no, this is
No,
going
I
to be
told you.
bad.
No, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad.
This is very bad. It's very bad.
You want to take Swan's next line?
Mm. It is not. It is not the tower or.
No, the world is changing.
Oh, I didn't get that part. Sorry.
The world is changing. We cannot stand behind these walls and pretend we still have control. The only thing we have control over is what we do. So what will you do? And Lanfear is choking Moraine out, and she fights back. She's got that orb.
Sarkinen.
Mm-hmm. And Swan says, will you stand behind this woman who stands for nothing, who loves nothing but power? Lan joins in the fight with Moraine against Lanfear. Just they're tag teaming her.
Well, Lanfear thought that Lan would be dead, so yeah. She was not correct.
Nope. And then Rand says, I shall spill the blood of those who call themselves Aiel as water on sand, and break you as dried twigs. Yet the remnant of a remnant the Kara shall save, and they shall live. I am your Kara. Lan and Lanfear fight. And Rand starts channeling and swirling around. And it looked a little bit like dragons for a moment there. actually it got bigger. Um, and then Suan, uh, it's not the tower.
It is not the tower or a seat that makes us who we are. It is us. We are the power. The light shines through us. I'm Aes Sedai. I've sworn on the
No,
oath that makes.
but
Hmm?
the light shines through us. That is the truth.
Oh, sorry.
Lanfear stabs Moraine in the gut. And oh, that was the wrong page. Um, then I am Aes Sedai.
I have sworn on the oath that my sisters have sworn on for 3,000 years. So you hear my words and know that they are true. If you stay here, you will burn with this tower you claim to love. But I will never burn. I am Swan Sanche, daughter of the river.
Water itself.
Water itself, I defy you. I defy you, Elida. And then the horrible happens.
Uh,
And
then something appears, some tiny lights are swirling around Moraine and look to be leaving her. And I don't know what that's supposed to be. Um, and then we
but in
see,
that instance, she's got a knife sticking out of her gut. She knows that Swan has passed, and she is grief stricken,
yeah,
and she cries out for her. And Lanfear's like, "You're about to die,
yeah.
and you're crying for a woman who betrayed you." And they call me crazy.
Hmm.
But
Um,
then that moment, Moraine channels all of that grief and all of that anger and just pulls that knife out of her belly and slashes Lanfear right across the
the,
throat, like
uh,
she's done before.
she grabs that sword and she's pulling it, and you see the blood dripping off of
Hmm.
it. And the look on Lanfear's face is,
Oh, crap. What have I done?
yeah. Uh, she is straight up scared of Moraine at
Hmm.
that point. And yeah, then she slices Lanfear's neck open.
Again, again, this is the second time she's done that.
Um, and then we have Rand pulling the clouds together. Uh, and Moraine saying, "For the land is one with the dragon reborn, and he is one with the land. Soul of fire, heart of stone, in pride he conquers, forcing the proud to yield." And it starts raining. And Moghedien here, she's rifling through papers and she hears something. And she's startled. She looks up at first I thought it was maybe a door slam or a crack of thunder. Like, we don't know. We don't know. Because it certainly they made it look like that storm was everywhere. And then we get Moraine again. He calls upon the mountains to kneel, and the seas to give way, and the very skies to bow. Pray that the heart of stone remembers tears, and the soul of fire love.
And while that voiceover is happening, we see everyone else. Um, the girls and Matt on a boat leaving Tanchico. Um, Fael and um, the
And she
maidens
had.
looking over into the White Cloaks camp, and yeah, it looks like everybody's trying
Mm.
to get back home
Yeah.
at that point. Oh, and we skipped over Egwene telling Rand to let go after
Oh,
it had
yeah.
started raining.
Yeah. She tried to, and he was not listening. But yeah.
Yeah, this episode definitely made me want to have a time machine so I can just jump into the next season instantly.
And that last line, pray that the heart of stone remembers tears and the soul of fire love. At the end of last season, you said that uh, Swain had been cast, but it ended up being the lady who's now playing Elida.
Yeah, I didn't know who it was, who she was going to be playing.
And in the books, Swain is the one who primarily her her self-imposed mission is to make Rand remember how to laugh. Because if he doesn't, he's trying so hard to be so strong, and then bad things keep happening and he keeps hurting. So okay, no, I have to make myself stronger. I no, stone isn't strong enough. I've got to make myself steel. Nope, that's the bad things happen and he still hurts. Okay, going to make myself Quain DR. And he gets to the point where he is absolutely losing his humanity. And she comes in and she is a force of nature. Um, Trying to get him to remember his humanity, to be human, to yes, laugh and cry and all the other things. And it's a large task.
It's a shame Sheree couldn't be that character. She had to be
Mm.
Elida. Well, like I told you, I totally understand your dislike for Elida after that episode. She
And,
wasn't a super favorite of mine, but ever, but
mhm.
that really, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Kat Swain definitely had her has her moments where you want to slap her bullying behind. Yes. She's not necessarily gentle with Rand. Um,
Well,
so
there's
that's
that, and
it
then
for season
what we
three.
saw.
Hmm?
I said there's that, and then there's what we saw, what she did to Swan. So
Yeah, yeah, no.
no,
Different character, different character.
I know, I know. I wish she had been Cat Swain.
Hmm. Maybe we'll get Cat Swain next season. So Amazon has not officially announced that there will be a next season, but
I can't see them not renewing
they'd
this.
be stupid not to, because
It,
it's popular enough here, but apparently internationally, it's very popular.
yeah, if it's not number one,
So,
it's number two right
mhm,
now. So
yeah, uh,
they're yeah, they would be great fools to
yeah.
cancel it.
So as we are recording this, it is Tuesday, April 22nd. Yikes. All my reporting is one day behind, so it's like, yes, 20, no, it's not the 21st.
Oh, I did see that there is
Um,
supposed to be a movie about the Age of Legends, like a prequel to the wheel. So
but the reason I mentioned the date is that this weekend, April, let's see, 25th, 26th, and 27th, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is
Jordan
JordanCon
Con.
here in Atlanta. This is our t-shirt from last year. Val and Luca's Traveling Con. It's a traveling show, like a circus, in the books. Um, but if you happen to be in Atlanta, it's near Perimeter Mall at the Crown Ravinia Hotel. Go out to jordancon.org for all the info. And we'd love to see everyone there. Um, that's it. You got anything else?
Well, I mean, if there's going to be a movie,
Yeah.
the prequel, we might be back before next season.
It might not be another 2 years. Wow.
I don't know where in production this is, if it's written
Mhm.
and they're about to start filming, or if they filmed. I have no idea. I just saw a brief thing on it today,
Okay.
but I will check and let you know.
Alrighty, cool. Well, that's it for us for season 3. As always, like and subscribe. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. And we will.
Unfortunately, not see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, definitely not this, not this time around. All right. Have a great break, everyone.